Innsbruck, Austria for the third and final time in this crazy 2020-21 BMW IBSF World Cup season. Men's skeleton action this Friday morning, and we are heading into the very final slide of the regular season in this 8th race of the World Cup. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Martin Haven with John Morgan, ready to watch the Fast 20 go down. And John, could be an interesting battle. Some new names towards the top of the pile.
Well, this is not a new name. This is the junior Russian rocket, Trageboff, who's it's only the 7th best start. And Martin, he went late in the run. You know, and he flew down the track in casual fashion like he does. And, I mean, there's 3 Russians in the top 6, 7, excuse me. And then there's 3 British also in the top 8 here. So Craig Thompson, great start time, the 3rd best start. And had green numbers most of the way down the track, but 2nd place, Martin, this could be a personal best for him. But this guy, okay, he has the start record on this track, and he had the fastest start in the first run, just barely over Craig Thompson. But he flies, and he won a gold medal on this track in December. He tied to the 100th of a second with Martin's Dukars. Dukars had won 11 straight years here on this track. He's not here. He's over practicing in Altenburg.
Well, Trageboff with a 2/100th of a second advantage, but the Russians have got the experience of being in that position. How will Craig Thompson hold up? And what about those outside the top 3? Sammy Meyer of Austria. Could he do a Benny Meyer and take a medal here on his home ice? Matt Weston was the silver medalist the last time we raced here. He's down in 10th place. And our top 20 rounded out by Nathan Crumpton, who will be the first sled on ice. So there's Craig Thompson. Marcus Wyatt also went strongly. He's potentially got a medal shot. And so too Sammy Meyer. So there's all sorts to play for. Our Fast 20 go through. And conditions have changed all day. It was raining, John, overnight. It was still raining when the forerunners were going down. It was whitewater rafting 15 minutes before the start of the heat. Then the rain stopped. Because it was so wet and humid, the refrigeration was on very hard, and the track got harder and faster as the runs went on. So the first few that went down really didn't have the best ice at all to deal with. The Koreans, well, Richard Bromley says he went assuming the track was going to be wet, gave them too much control, and as a result, they were just a little bit shy on speed. They will adjust that for the second heat. There'll be lots of guesswork as they try and adapt their sleds. Nathan Crumpton and a couple of German rookies will be off in our first group. And as we get towards the end of the run, we're going to find out who is going to challenge Alexander Trageboff for victory here, the 3rd World Cup race in Innsbruck this year. Final slide of the World Cup coming up in men's skeleton. The BMW IBSF trail ends here in Innsbruck. Next up will be the World Championships. And first off is Nathan Crumpton from American Samoa.
Yeah, Princeton University guy, with track and field athlete there, very, Ivy League champion, triple jump, I think it was. And this isn't the same Nathan Crumpton we saw at the World Championships in 16, Martin, when he competed for the United States, where he had a top 10 finish and he had a top 7 or 8 start. But he's back here in 20th because he's definitely nursing some lower body injury.
Yeah, hip flexor, which is tough when you're trying to run and very tough when you're trying to run bent double as he is. Well over 6 foot, so there's a long way down to the ground, yeah. Again, you can see they've spritzed the tracks a little bit glossy and quicker maybe than in the first heat. Decent speed from Crumpton.
He had a 54.64 in the first run. Let's see how fast the track is. 54. Wow. He's 1 second faster. There's Christian Auer. All he did was win 5 out of 6 seasons, the World Cup title holder. And he also won multiple World Championships. His son's coming up later in the race.
So, again, a very different track, isn't it, from the first heat?
Well, he's 1 second faster. Now, is the track better, or did he just have a very bad run? I mean, he went late. He went 20th in the first run.
Yep.
Look at the lines. His foot's out. Little drift. A little engagement with the wall. But, I mean, the track is glistening.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. He was leaving marks there, though, coming down out of 9, which you probably shouldn't see if the track is dry and shiny. Our World Cup debutant, 23-year-old Felix Cybel, one of 4 newcomers today in our first race alone. He's last year's Europa Cup champion. That is the junior level of sliding here in Europe. We have a Europa Cup, a North America's Cup, and the Intercontinental Cup. You see Anja Huber, multiple winner on this track, yelling him off at the top. She's their development coach.
Yeah, she should be. Multiple world champion herself. Green numbers, as expected. Speed, I mean, he's 600s better at the start. He had 30 to play with. It's down to 2200s, Mark. So he had something happened there. He had 30 to play with and had a better start, but it's 2900s. Best speed.
Ooh.
He should pull away here, Martin. Pretty tough to have places on the track where there's there's some diversity there in that straightaway. But last week we had gremlins all over that track in Königssee.
Yeah.
Not so many gremlins here.
Well, fewer corners and fewer places to make a mistake. He comes down in the lead, 53.13, 1.5 seconds quicker.
Wow, Martin. Wow, 1.5 seconds quicker.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at what Trageboff did here. So, Trageboff is a 52.78. He comes down to a 51.54.
Well, plus Felix here's got those first night nerves out of the way, hasn't he? You know, your first ever run in the World Cup, TV cameras, all the pressure. I'm sure he was tight for the first heat. That looked like a better run as well.
If
And of course, he gets the
Trageboff
benefit
comes down in a
fresh
second.
ice.
Martin, if Trageboff comes down in 1 second better, I mean, he went down a second and a half better. Trageboff comes down like that, and we are going to have a track record.
Yes, we are.
But of course, the ice won't look like that by the time we get to him in probably 35 minutes, 40 minutes.
May well not, no. Next up, Sebastian Anaki of Romania, second of our starters. This is his 4th World Cup at Innsbruck, out of 8 that he has done. So they brought him back here in December because he knew the track. They brought him back here in January because they brought him back in December because he knows the track. It's an obvious choice.
Well, he went second, Martin, so he had some great ice to work with, as he does here. But only 200ths. He's going to have best speed to maintain that. Still has it, second best speed, now red numbers. Now he's going to start to fall back. I mean, the Cybel just rocketed down the track. And I don't see him falling behind Nathan Crumpton, but I do see him falling back at least 1 behind the young German Cybel.
Yep. Looks like Crumpton will end up with no worse than 20th place finish after being 15th in December. So Cybel stays in the leader's box, 53.44 for Sebastian Anaki. Again, 1.21 seconds improvement. So the track is definitely quicker.
No.
I don't think all these guys were just a second slower, were they?
Martin, I think 53.65 to 53.44.
Yeah, 53.
2100s. Yeah, so he only went 2100s, so not the, like we saw, the improvement on the other sleds. He's the least improved of the 4, but I mean, he's hanging in there in second of the 3 sleds. I'm sorry he's been down.
Well, he was 16th here in the last race. Next up is Amadeus the Italian, just 21 years old, was in the Junior Worlds last week, finished in 4th place. Didn't race here in December, but finished in 11th place in January's race at the end of last season here.
He's got the tall, thin build like Trageboff. Start 5:04. He had 5:01 in the first run. Doesn't have more than 0.05 of a lead on Cybel at the bottom, who flew, and so Cybel might pick off someone else here.
Yeah, they were all very tight, weren't they, down at the tail of the top 20.
700's back. Well, you know, can't bleed any more time. He'll drop more than one. Got to keep it within 2900s to stay at least second. Second best speed is pretty good. Can hang in down there 23, so he's going to be close. He can't get beyond 29, and he'll drop 2 spots.
And he does. 3100s back. So Felix Cybel stays in our leader's box, and Amadeus drops a couple of places. Well, he tidied up the exit of 9. Yeah, tidied up the exit of 9. He skidded there in the first heat, but a big skid coming off the Kreisel. Take a look at the load.
Good. A- for the jump on. Look at the eyes. A little bit of a thrill-seeker looking eyes. Of course, head first with your your chin inches off the ice. You got to be a little bit of a thrill-seeker to do that, Martin.
Got to be a little bit of a screw loose to do that, I think. Head first. Mattia Gaspari next up, his Italian teammate. 15th and 13th in the 2 races here in December. 10th in Sigulda in November, his best result since injury in 2017. And for Mattia, this is World Cup start number 30.
Well, he's got to watch out for that young German. Cybel's picked off 2, 3 already with a rocket run. And Mattia here, 5:06 in the first run. He should make that. 5:03 improved. And he's going to need to have a good run here. And, you know, he's the most experienced of the 5 athletes that have been down the track, Martin. And we've talked about his unfortunate injury right before the games in 2018. Martin, how old is Mattia?
27 still.
So he's still got 4 good years, right?
Wow, he's got a lot more because he's from Cortina. So there's no way he's retiring after Beijing, is there? Not with the Cortina Games coming up. So he's in it for at least another 5 seasons.
He's going to watch out here. He could drop 2 also. He's going to drop at least one. Just one. So 2100s, so 800s. That's expected. Cybel, you know, obviously had a bad first run. I think you mentioned the too many cameras.
Yeah.
You know, rookie
it's
debut.
just the nerves, isn't it? Just the nerves.
But Cybel's got the fastest run.
Well, Mattia always gets off the stage and says, second heat. I wonder if it's going to be 3rd heat and 4th heat that work for him in Altenburg.
The exit of Kreisel into 8. He's on the wrong side of that straightaway. You saw him steering his body, steering his friction.
Hi, Martin. Hi, John.
Hey, Mattia. Felix Cybel, the rookie, leads. Our first 5 sleds down, 15 to go. 8th and final BMW IBSF Men's Skeleton World Cup. We're in Innsbruck, Austria for the 3rd time this season. At the line for the first time this season is Killian Von Schleinitz from Bavaria, the young German slider with here the top 3 in the World Cup, training up in Altenburg. He is taking one of those places. Current leader is his rookie teammate Felix Cybel, who made his first ever World Cup start, and Anja Huber yelling at the top to give the encouragement.
Well, the next 4 sleds, including this one here, are all separated by 500s. So a little race within a race. And of course, the Germans got the 3 lesser athletes in the field. They're gonna, you know, there's a little fight amongst these German athletes to who was the top German, which would mean the top interview on German television.
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, this is the most experienced of the 3 German athletes in the field, and his brothers over in the World Cup World Championships, the 50th World Luge Championships going on right now in Königssee. Congratulations and good luck to all the FIL athletes. Spectacular facility over there. Killian, as expected, 53.14. He rockets down 3,600s better than his first run. Martin, I think that's good enough to move him up 2 or 3 spots.
That's a big improvement, and he should have done that in the first heat. Then he would have been the top German ahead of rookie Cedric Renner, who'll come up in 2 or 3 sleds time. That's a much better run. But again, you know, pressure on him. First World Cup in 2 seasons, you've got to perform. So of course you're tight going into the first heat. It's only natural.
Well, good form. A little bit down the wrong side of this straightaway into 8. See him lean. See a couple athletes have to lean their feet over. You know, you want to body lean. You don't want to, you know, again, you want to reduce friction, not increase it in any way. Killian, thank you.
So next up, Vladislav Heraskevich with the 19th fastest time at the start, came down 13th, 100 ahead of Von Schleinitz, our current leader, and tied with the next man waiting to go.
Well, you don't want to watch the start, but I dare say, Martin, he could achieve the best speeds in the bottom part of the track, and with that start time, he's going to have to. So he's got a 7th best velocity. You know, he's the 7th guy down. Now let's start. He's 1,800s back. He keeps that within 2,400s at the Kreisel, 2,500s, he'll have a chance. Where's the 25? Now he should start to eat into that deficiency. He bleeds some more, but Martin, look how straight that is. 5th best speed. Usually he's got the top speed for this lesser crowd. 4,600, it's just not happening today for him, Martin. Must have made a mistake we didn't see, because he drops 5 spots. That's unlike him.
But again, you've got to look at the setup of the runners, haven't you? You know, Richard Bromley said that the Koreans should have been much faster, but he was too conservative with their setup, and maybe Vlad has done the same here as well, not gone wild enough. It's always hard to tell.
When you got a 19th best start, when you got a 19th best start, you can't go conservative with the setup. You got to go all out. You know, you just got to put it on the edge. You know, and this was, I mean, great lines. Just look how straight this is. I mean, this is textbook. So, Martin, look how bumpy it is, too. We mentioned that in the first run. Martin, that's as straight as you can do. And usually he's got top speeds.
Yeah, maybe too much control.
I don't know what happened. Yeah, too much control.
Well, next up is the man who tied with Heraskevich, or with whom Heraskevich tied, because actually Austin Florian of the USA set the time. He was our first runner in the first heat, came down in 13th place.
Should be the best start of the heat so far. 493 in the first run. 491 improved. He needs to improve. He's in a group of 4 or 5 sledders that if he comes down here ahead of the German, I mean, he'll pop into a top 12 or so, maybe move up to the top 10. He had a top 10 there in Wittenberg a couple of weeks ago, Martin.
Yeah.
The former skier from Clarkson University, not far from Lake Placid, Southington, Connecticut, top 5 speed, 1300s. Good exit there, down to 7. No mistake here. Not bad. 3rd best speed. Red numbers, going to drop at least 1 number. Killian Von Schleinitz. So Austin Florian, 53.23, 2,600s better. But we knew Von Schleinitz, we knew he had put a good heat down, and he just went ahead of 3 guys.
Well, Austin will be no worse than 14th. His previous best, John, 25th 2 seasons ago. So that's a big difference.
Well, you know, a top 10 start, which helps the matter. Little bit of the sled going towards the wall and the take on, and he gets the take on early. That didn't affect him here. Looks a little late. But, you know, not a bad run. Quarter of a second better. But Von Schleinitz, he smoked it.
Hi, everybody.
That's why he's still the leader.
Hi, Mom, Dad, Erica, and Erica.
Killian Von Schleinitz of Germany is our race leader from Austin Florian, and Germany's Felix Cybel. And now the third of our German athletes, the second of our debutants, Cedric Renner. He got the nod because he finished as the second best German in the Junior Worlds last week. Gets to make his World Cup start as a result. 12th place after the first heat.
5:08, 5:06. Start track is faster for everybody. And, you know, he's only got 500s to work with on his teammate, and his teammate beat him by 600s at the start. That's why you see the red numbers. So, if he's got any kind of speed merchant skill, he'll start to accelerate and eat into that lead. 400s, best speed. Got a chance for green numbers. Not there, though, mistake. 100. Gonna be close. Perfect, best speed, green numbers. He's rewarded with the green numbers for good lines to date. 500s, he's pulling away. This will be the best German and most likely the top interview for German TV.
Yeah.
53:02, 4,300's better. So the race within a race amongst these three Germans. And
he wins.
Cedric Renner is the winner.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, he likes it.
Youngest of them all as well, just 20 years old, Bavarian from Koenigsegg. So in any other
Could be
season,
seeing
he
a
might
few
be at home
more of
watching
him.
the Luge World Champs. Yeah, I think we may well see some of him. By the way, news from Germany this week, John. Axel Jung, silver medalist in Altenburg last year, will not be at the Worlds.
Surprised he's not here.
Well, he's not fit still, I don't think.
Hello.
And these guys... I think Cedric Renner could be a bit of a live wire. What do you reckon? Next up, as we get towards our top 10, Florian Auer. So, son of a sliding father. And Flo, the younger of two brothers who compete for Austria, or competed. Alex is now retired. Florian Auer on the verge of a top 10, finished in 9th in both races here in December, with equally a packed field. Let's see if he can move up.
The Austrians dominated this sport from 1986-87 season through the 94-95. They won the World Cup title 8 out of 9 years. Andy Schmidt, Christian Auer, the father of Florian, who's coming down. He won 5 out of 6 years of those world titles and 2 world championships. And the last one, Alex Mueller, was the last one to win back in the late 90s, the World Cup title. So the Austrians were dominant in this sport. Martin, and here comes the Austrian shortcut. Watch this.
Except he is losing ground and the speed is not the best. No, his setup has not been what it needed to be. His lines are good, but his speed is not, and he loses ground down 2 spots. Yeah. Well, that's the opposite of the first heat, isn't it? Where he just got quicker and quicker, and that's exactly what happened in December. He just got quicker and quicker and had the best speed. He's gone the wrong way as he's changed the setup to adapt to the track.
And, you know, where did he make the mistakes? This is up top. Looks pretty good there. And this is the exit of 9. Little turn, but not
too
much
many driving errors.
of a
and so
skid
you
there.
then
Head down.
look
Maybe
at
this,
the
you
setup,
know, we've seen a couple guys get off the sleds pretty perplexed, Martin. The setup, maybe it's a different ice track, the ice canal than we had in the first run.
and you've got to guess how it's going to evolve. And sometimes the guess is good, and sometimes less good. Cedric Renner leads from Killian Von Schleinitz and Florian Auer. 10 down, 10 to go. Well, so often when you see a good-looking rain, it is beautiful, isn't it? Rain drizzling off the roof, though. Everything's starting to melt a little bit. It's quite mild. There's Austin Florian. Yeah. Decent run from Austin Florian. He dropped a couple of spots, but Florian Auer dropped a couple as well. There's your leader on the right-hand side, Cedric Renner. Very different venue, as they all have been this year. And, you know, as I said, Cedric from Koenigsegg in any normal season might well have been at his home track watching the World Championships with Killian Von Schleinitz there, and Killian would definitely have been there watching his brother. But of course, that's behind closed doors, as everything has been this season. I have to say, both federations, John, have done a fantastic job in keeping the athletes, the crews, the officials safe. So few positive tests. Everybody has been really keen to comply and keep the sport going, and it's been great, I think, for their frame of mind and for everybody, all the fans at home, being able to actually watch racing as well.
That's an understatement, what the federations have done in this bubble. Martin, I'm looking at the first event, men's event in Koenigsegg. I got all of this stuff here, and I don't see Von Schleinitz on the start list.
Oh, okay.
So he didn't qualify.
Well, catch up with Tim Singer and the crew. Find out.
We got Alex Goff doing the commentary from Calgary.
Oh, yeah.
And we got her out there doing commentary today.
So, like John and I, lots of commentators remotely watching the action, the same as you are, but enjoy, settle back, let's get ready to race. Final 10 sleds of the BMW IBSF Men's Skeleton World Cup season in Innsbruck in Austria. The third race on this track this year. Matt Weston has a 4th place and a silver medal out of those 2 races. John Morgan, he's in 10th place after a very perplexing first heat.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to his start. They had the top 5 start last week, and here he is with the 10th best start. He only improved at 200s. He's got a little bit of time to work with. He's got 3,500s in the bank, and that's a lot of money in the bank right there on this track. Down to 32. You know, he can keep following Martin, but I can't believe he'd throw away 33 tenths. Down to 24. Watch out. Drift.
Yeah.
If he gets this down to 13 or something, he's in trouble. He's in trouble. 8th best speed.
Isn't there. Well, this has got to be a worry for his teammates who are in the top half dozen.
Wow, how could you throw away that much time?
Only 600s quicker than his first heat. Well, the start is about a 10th slower than he was doing in December, so that's a question mark. But again, guessing with the setup, and the guess didn't predict entirely how the track was going to react and what he needed, so he's disappointed not to be fighting for a medal
launch
again.
On the sled. Look at the athleticism. You launch and you land with your hips like that. All 3 British athletes are great starters, but today, little suspect for Matt Weston, though. Martin just doesn't have the start he had when he was here in December.
Only his 7th World Cup race. It's his 3rd season of sliding, so he's got lots to learn. And the more experience you have, the better you'll react to changing circumstances. Next up, Daniel Romanoff, another World Cup rookie this season. And he's had a really strong year, Romanoff, just outside the top 10 in the overall standings. Best result, 5th place in the 2nd race here just before the Christmas break.
46 in the first run should be better. 47 not. Well, got 2,500, so I just said there's no way he's going to throw away 3,500, so we saw Matt Wyatt do that, but 3 Russians in the top 9 and 3 Russians in the top 7 at the start. And the first, 4th, and 7th best starts. Like the British, the Russians really emphasize start times. He's got 6/10 in the bank, Martin, here. If he throws this away, I might get off the mic.
It's all possible, dragging his toe out of 9. Only the 9th best speed.
9th best. 32. He's going to be there in the single digits, maybe teens. There's the single digits. He hung on. Martin, he saved my commentary career.
He went for speed rather than control, and he had the speed at the bottom, but he didn't have the control. By the way, Uta from Altenburg tells us that the other Von Schleinitz is no longer sliding in luge. He's working with BMW to develop a simulator for Beijing because, of course, there'll be almost no driving on the track before the games.
Cool. Thank you, Uta, for that information. Look at his head up, Martin. We talked about this in the first heat. He's got to learn to get his head down more. Now watch it come up. Look, see, that's too high. And his toes are up, but he's got his head up too high. Great starter, but of course, his first year on the tour. She's impressive because he's got good starts.
Yeah, and he'll gain the experience. Teammate Alexander Cedric has been racing nearly 20 years longer. Next up for Korea, the first are 3 Korean athletes. Chung Sung-gui. So let's see what Sung-gui can produce. Yeah, 6th fastest start. I think Richard Bromley has given them a much looser sled in the second heat for some speed. Let's see what they can do with it.
I talked about how good the Russians are at the start, how good the British are at the start. The Koreans had the 1st, 6th, and 7th best starts in the first run. They got it figured out that the people you should bring to the... Ooh, big mistake there, Martin. But you come to this sport, especially on this track, you need a start time to have a chance. 500s, 4th best speed. That's in jeopardy. But he's pulling away, 9th. Let's see the exit. Not perfect, but not bad. 1300s. 11th best speed, though. The Korean sleds did not have good speed in the first run. What's going to happen here? 1953.04. 1200's better. Well, 1200's better, Martin. Maybe they did make some adjustments.
They did, definitely, Richard said. But the other thing, of course, as you get closer to the top, the variance between runs will always be smaller because they're better, they're more experienced, they're more precise. So he didn't make a huge improvement, but he takes the lead from Daniel Romanoff, and Cedric Renner, the German, still in 3rd.
Huge mistake up there, previous shot, hitting the wall up there where the speeds are slow. That's worth 10/100ths, if not more. Here, now look at the head down. Remember the Russian guy had his head up here? Look how much his is down, probably a couple degrees better angle, and that's, of course, for aerodynamics. Look at him put his head down onto the ice there before the finish, so putting his head down on the ice I don't think is smart, but look at the scrapes on this sled.
Yeah, that's been through the water. That's probably a brand new helmet before this week. Kim Ji-soo, 7th best starter. His advantage over his teammate, 2 whole hundredths of a second.
Not as good a start. 200s back, 490. 3rd best start. Looks like he took too much of the exit of curve 1. We'll see 3rd best velocity. 4th. Too much of curve 1. He had the 3rd best speed. Went to the 4th velocity. I say too much of curve 1. 900s back, Martin. I mean, that's to his teammate. So now we got the race within a race. Ooh, like his teammate, he made a mistake up there in the slow part of the track. But he's got it up to the 2nd best speed. 1000s back. He's going to find that Austrian shortcut to have a chance, Martin. No speed, look at this.
Dancing here,
way back.
No, he's skidded it away,
He could fall back. He could fall back 2 or 3. He could fall back 3. Yeah, he did. 53.35. That's the first athlete to go slower. Martin, as I see the first 12 sleds, that's the first guy to go slower. Fell back right. 3 places.
Well,
Mistake up before Cybel. That was definitely a no-no. Here, watch this. Ooh, comes off there a little late. Then he gets into Cybel. Who knows how much steering? He's low, below the blue lines. And that's a slingshot effect. This is at a curve 9. That's got too much late. And his feet are coming out, not comfortable. That's why he had the 13th best speed at the next clock.
So we will have a Korean. We'll have a Korean leader off the next sled, because here is our Olympic champion, Sun Bin Yoon. 3 consecutive silver medals on this track in his last 3 races. And a bronze and another silver before that. You'll note the lack of gold.
Look at his thighs. Look at the quads on this guy. It's unbelievable how big he is. I mean, 485, 200 slower than his first heat. He had an 83, which tied Trageboff for the best start. But Martin, I would think his quads could match up to any bobsled athlete.
Yep.
He looks like a bobsled athlete.
He does, doesn't he?
I bet you if he went over started driving bobsleds, he'd have great starts, and he'd be good in that sport too.
Maybe he can do that for the next games. Chun Sung-gi is our leader. Yoon Sung Bin is chasing him down with a 2100s advantage.
Well, he's not worried about his 2 Korean teammates. He's worried about posting a 3600s better heat. Richard Bromley likes it.
Yeah.
3600s better. Now, I mean, he's not that far. He's only 1600s or so out of a medal. Right, 12.
I think that's a lot of pressure on the sleds still to come.
He's only 1400ths out of a medal. So he's got 2 more guys he's got to leapfrog over, but Ironman helmet.
That is faster than the fastest run in the first heat. So Alexander Trechikov did a 78. He's just done a 53.76. That's the quickest run down this track today. That could be a medal. And that puts a lot of pressure on the rest. Sun Bin Yoon leads from Jung Sung-gi. And next up, we have our top 5, the final 5 sleds of the season here in Innsbruck. First of whom is Great Britain's Marcus Wyatt. So Marcus, with a big start in the first heat, the 29-year-old. This is his 25th World Cup start. He has 1 bronze medal. And that was in Sigulda. Let's see what he can produce here.
200s better at the start than he did in the first run. Should have the #1 velocity, the second velocity. So his power step in the sled or his negotiation curve 1 or 2 took away from the best start.
Didn't race here in December, so his last race was in January 2020 on this track. And the speed is going away, it's not there.
Well, remember, he's the guy at the bottom is the Olympic champion who had a bad setup in his first run. So I don't think, Marcus Wyatt would be disappointed finishing 10, 1200s back. 14.
Yeah, but when you're fifth, you want to be in the medals. It is respectable.
He's 2/10 off.
When you're
2/10 off. 2/10 off his first heat.
You're always looking forward, aren't you? It was a good second run from Marcus Wyatt. So he lies in second. Sun Bin Yoon lies in first place with 4 to go. And you sense there might be a couple more who don't quite match what Yoon has done.
I think Yoon changed his setup. Marcus Wyatt, pretty chalk from his first run. That's what he's doing. I mean, he's got a great start. The best start so far of anybody, including beating the Olympic champion at the start. Trageboff might not achieve that 484 start that he just had. Great lines there, Martin. This young British athlete.
See you all soon.
Guaranteed a top 6 finish. So is he going to Altenburg or not? We'll wait to see. 4 to go, and just 700s out of the medals after the first of our 2 heats. Sammy Meyer, the young Austrian, with a great opportunity here. 21 years old, bronze in last week's Junior Worlds, and he was 7th and 6th here in December. This could be a really big day for Sammy Meyer.
20th best start in the first run, 5:06 in this run, 500ths better. So you know he's going to take the Austrian shortcut down below, Martin. Now the question is, you know, he's 2,500ths back. How can he overcome that, you're thinking? Well, we'll see his brother Benny tomorrow. In the 2-man bobsled, we'll see his sister-in-law Elizabeth Meyer and woman skeleton later on today. 2,000ths back. He's got a chance. Here comes the Austrian shortcut right here, coming up.
Best
he can get this to 12. 7, here he comes. He's going to do it. He's going to
lead the Olympic champion with 3 to go. Yes, by 200s.
That's a personal best.
Oh, Sammy Meyer, that's very comfortably a personal best. Is there a medal in it for the Austrian? What a run.
Yeah.
Against the
John,
north.
that's nearly a quarter second faster than his first heat.
Wow. Well, is there any mistakes here? No. But again, when you're the 20th best start, you have to have the perfect runs. He just had 2 perfect runs. And he found that Austrian shortcut on the bottom that his father and everybody else shows him. All those guys from Austria know where that is.
All right, Sammy Meyer leads, 3 to go. 2 Russians, both Olympic medalists, and a fast Brit. First up, Nikita Trageboff. Now, mid-season, Trageboff changed to a sled built by ex-German coach Dirk Matchens. He is back now on a Schneider, more familiar territory. Can he hang on here for a medal?
100 slower. You know, Sammy Meyer went 500ths better and had the 14 way better start time. He'll like the 15th or 16th best start. It's amazing he's at top of the leader box. 2,500ths. This guy who won the silver medal in Korea, I don't think he's throwing away 2,500ths. I don't think he knows where the Austrian shortcut is, but he's got to make a major hit out of this straightaway here. If he's not straight, maybe.
Don't forget, Sammy was 2/10 back at the Kreisel. 11th
Watch
best
it, red
speed.
numbers. He's going to do it.
That's it. It's a medal for
my God,
Meyer. Trageboff, the bronze medalist here in
Check
December,
out Meyer's reaction. Wow.
Trageboff plunges 4 places. Meyer is in the medals.
What happened there?
Went the wrong way on setup in a big way.
2,500ths at Kreisel.
Yeah.
And it was gone by the Labyrinths.
Lost nearly half a second to Meyer on that run.
Sammy Meyer's winning a medal with the 14th best start. Wow.
Yeah.
There's the wrong side of 8. Then he gets up high on the early part of 8. And 9, he's a little late here. Not much fault there, Martin, but this is where it was gone. His quarter-second lead just went away.
Hey,
is that his father?
He is in the medals for the first time in his life. That is fantastic for Sammy Meyer. 2 to go. Meyer leads from Yun and Wyatt.
When was the last Austrian medal on this track in men's skeleton? We got to get somebody to tell us that.
We still don't know. No.
Rettel? Martin Rettel and Guggenberg?
Possibly. What about Craig Thompson? 200ths of a second off the lead after the first heat. What can he do?
Posts the best start of the heat so far. Ties his teammate, Marcus Wyatt. And the best velocity. Yeah, so that's great. 6,200s. I don't want to jinx him, Martin, but
don't even say it.
He throws
don't
60.
Even say it. No, that's a jinx. Oh,
he's going to lose.
Speed.
Yeah,
what happened
5,200s
to Matt Weston is happening to him as well. He's not got speed in the sled. 14th speed.
Best speed. No way. This can't be 2,800. Oh my God, 18th best speed. Watch out.
Worst
Watch
speed
out.
At the bottom. Does he lead? Yes, he's got a medal by 400ths of a second. He is the leader. But oh my goodness.
Martin.
Get in there.
Is that another personal best? Is that a personal best?
Yes, Marcus Wyatt goes to congratulate him. Craig
Two guys
Thompson.
in the leader's box. Personal bests. I love it. This, head up exit of Chrysler there. Look, he's on the wrong straight. Part of the straight going into 8, but he gets away with it. Doesn't have much body lean. And then here he's a little airborne there in the first of the 3 labyrinths. And
best ever race here for
first-time
Craig,
medalists.
6th place 2 years ago. His best ever World Cup result before today, a 5th place finish. So 2 first-time medalists. Trageboff can't give them a first-time win, surely. He was in really good form here in December. I mean, really good form. He's this year's European champion for the first time in 11 seasons since he won it before. This is for the final win of the year for his 3rd gold medal, Alexander Trageboff.
Oh, 482. Wow.
Yep.
Does he have the best velocity, though? Watch the velocity. Not the best velocity, though. So, he didn't do everything perfect, getting on the sled and getting around those first 2 curves. And he's 100 down. This is what he did in the first run, Martin. And then out of Chrysler, the numbers turned green.
Again, on a dirt matches-built sled that is new to him this season. So does that make a
big
difference?
mistake there.
But he's 200
he might get away with that.
What speeds he got at the bottom? 7th best speed. Quicker than Thompson. Thompson was 11th and 14th at this stage.
This is going to be the winner.
Trageboff takes his 3rd win of the season, but 2 very happy podium finishers. Alexander Trageboff victorious. Craig Thompson a 1st ever medal with silver. Sammy Meyer a 1st ever medal with bronze. Alexander Trageboff takes the gold medal, and that might move him up a spot in the World Cup rankings, maybe to 4th. But because he missed a couple of races this season, he has not moved into the top 3, I don't think. But that's a gold medal winning run.
The Russian rocket. The guy with the best start at the top of the track usually has the chance for the best time at the bottom. That's what he just did. How many victories does he have, Mark?
Oh, now that's a good question. 2 races on this track and 2 wins this year, and that is his 20th men's skeleton World Cup win. 26 silver medals and 19 bronze. That is win number 20.
Well, he was talking 4 years ago that the young Russians were coming to get him. He's still the top dog in the Russian camp.
Yeah. He sure is. Alexander Trageboff, our winner. Craig Thompson and Sammy Meyer just 400ths apart there on the podium, ahead of Sommelier Marcus Wyatt and Nikita Trageboff. Jung-Sung Wee in 7th, ahead of Daniel Romanoff. Cedric Renner, the rookie, a top 9 finish. Fantastic for him. Matt Weston, 11th. Florian Auer, 13th. Rookie Felix Cybel gets 15th place. And that is the rest of our finishing field. So congratulations to Ander Mirambel on starting World Cup number 90. Congratulations to Alexander Trageboff on starting World Cup, I think, possibly number 130. And congratulations to him on his 20th World Cup win. So we're tracing down the early days results of the Ducours brothers, which I've now got, and Alexander Trageboff. 126 since 2006, but he was racing from 2002 on, so we need to find more. I think there's probably 7 or 8 lurking somewhere on bits of paper in a dusty cabinet in a drawer. Martins Ducours, our World Cup champion. The silver position in the battle for the Crystal Globe goes to Alexander Gassner. What a season he has had. And Thomas Ducours is the 3rd place finisher ahead of Christopher Grote here. Alexander Trageboff overhauling the absent Felix Cybel. Marcus Meyer, Wyatt and Matt Weston both in the top 10 in the World Cup on part seasons. That's great for them. Craig Thompson, 12th place, but his first World Cup medal. Sammy Meyer, 14th place, but his first World Cup medal. Those are the things that will count. And Sung Bin Young on 3 races, firmly in the top 20. There is nothing wrong with the Korean's pace. If he'd had a full season, very tough battle, I'm sure, would have been between him and Martins Ducours for the overall title. And that is how we leave it. The World Cup season for men's skeleton is done. All that remains is the World Championships. They will hightail it to Altenburg in Saxony, and we will join them there next week for our men's skeleton action as the World Cup gets underway. That's it for the men. The women race today as well here in Innsbruck. So join John Morgan, me, Martin Haven, and the IBSF TV crew for all the action in